Game over.
Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to Movie Deathmatch Beatdown, where I talk about movies while playing video games. Today we're playing Halo 4 yet again, and I'm going to be talking about Ex Machina, a little bit of lag, which was written and directed by Alex Garland. It stars Domhnall Gleeson, who is this programmer in this company that's a lot like Google or Facebook. And he wins this competition to spend a week with the creator of his company, like a very Steve Jobsian, Bill Gates sort of guy, played by Oscar Isaac. And he's wondering why he's there for, like, what is the actual purpose of him winning this, like, Charlie in the Chocolate Factory sort of competition. And it turns out that he's there to help test this new artificial intelligence that Oscar Isaac's character has created. And it's not just like a Siri or a Cortana or something like that. It's like a fully fledged AI that he wants to see if it's indistinguishable from being human. And there's a lot of discussion of the Turing test, which you might be familiar with if you saw The Imitation Game earlier, or last year I should say, not earlier in this year, because there's, once again, that's also got another thread of the Turing test and what makes us human and what makes computers artificial, and discussions of such things like that. And Ex Machina is a very philosophical sort of take. There's a lot of like talking about different, try not to, I died. And yeah, Alex Garland, who you might know from a lot of Danny Boyle movies, like he wrote stuff like The Beach, like he wrote the book and he wrote the screenplay, did 28 Days Later, Sunshine, which not as many people have seen, but I definitely recommend that, because that is a brilliant sci-fi movie. It like goes in one direction then goes in a completely different one, like in the final act, which works for it. It's like, I don't find it a bad thing that it does that whole change up at the end in this situation. And plus it's got a brilliant casting, so I definitely recommend that. And any of Danny Boyle's movies, if you haven't even tried, I definitely recommend them. And he also wrote Dread, which is a fantastic little action movie. Came out the same year as The Raid, and both were phenomenal. Very Die Hard, but with Judge Dredd and Anderson. Oh, sorry. Bit of concentration. Which we'll never see a sequel. Really wish it would, but maybe in 5 years' time in a direct-to-DVD sequel that has no one originally connected to it involved. Oh well, at least it was better than the Stallone version. But back to Ex Machina. This is the first time he's directed something he's written, like his first time in the director's chair, and he's really good in the role. Like, obviously he's worked with some greats, and he's probably learnt a lot from Danny Boyle, but this is a very nice debut film. It's like, it's not too huge. It's not like when Orsi was gonna have Star Trek. Like, it's not too big scale. Like, he knows his stuff. And this is a very small scale, reserved science fiction movie that is on par to something like a friend of mine from work compared it a bit to Black Mirror. Not as much of a political satire, or satire of like where humanity's going, but it's just got some elements of greatness, and just great commentary on where we are in the world and where technology is heading. But yeah, it's got a great structure to it, because it's mainly structured around these sessions that Domhnall Gleeson's character has with the robot Ava, who's played by an actress who I can't remember the name of, unfortunately, and I might have to look that up in the future. And it's great, because each small snippet of conversation that you get just enough to see what elements of humanity he's testing, and then he then meets up with Oscar Isaac, and then they discuss it all, and it's great. Like, wonderful philosophical conversations, and just in-depth science, but nothing too hard sci-fi. It's like in a weird mix of soft and hard sci-fi, where anyone can really watch it and not be like too confused or bored by it. But I don't see the masses going to watch this, unfortunately. Like, they'll be watching stuff like American Sniper and Taken at the weekend, when they could be watching this wonderful piece of cinema. It's not like it's not groundbreaking. Like, we've seen stories like this before. Like, as I said, like, the Turing test hasn't just been brought up in Ex Machina, it showed up in The Imitation Game and such. But I think it's still a really good science fiction movie, and a nice commentary on places like Google and Facebook, which are slowly taking over the world and invading privacy and such. Plus, it's the best science fiction movie to have a dance number in it, which is wonderful. Like, there's some humour in it which you're not expecting, and it's also got the best Ghostbusters reference in a movie this side of Zombieland. There's a lot of random pieces towards the bigger whole, alongside its Black Mirror Twilight Zone-y ending. And it's just like a wonderful 4.5 star movie. And I definitely recommend it this weekend. Or whenever this episode goes up. Just go and watch it once it's out in your local cinemas, because it is really good. Anyway, that's been Movie Deathmatch Beatdown for this week, or this day, because I might do Most Violent Year tomorrow, or sometime soon, because that's the other Oscar Isaac movie I've watched. Basically, Oscar Isaac's on a roll. He's got some good movies coming out. Don't forget a little movie called Star Wars at the end of this year. But for now, that's been Movie Deathmatch Beatdown. I will catch you next time.